In this week's Messages from the Guides, we talk about boundaries being a form of self love and how sometimes you must hit rock bottom in order to clear the board for something new. You must learn from the past but build towards the future. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, I am a light worker who uses automatic writing to channel messages from my guides, and I share those messages here with you on the station. So, let's get into the reading. Set boundaries and protect yourself. When you set boundaries, it's not about telling someone else how they should react, but advising on the consequences or how you will respond if respect is not reciprocated. Boundaries are your way of showing yourself love and respect. When you truly love yourself, your peace, your calm, and what you're willing to allow will shift. You'll make better choices to protect yourself. During your time on this planet, setting boundaries is key. It helps you maintain your light and your energy so that you're not pulled into the dark. As stated, the darkness plays dirty. It might disguise itself as your friend or coworker so that it can pressure you into choices or vibrations that lower or dim your light. This is why recognizing how you're being affected and what you allow is important. If they want to pull your vibration down, you must instead bring theirs back up. If they are unwilling to come up, then you have a choice to make on what you will allow. Do not stunt your growth or dim your light for others. Those that need you or truly care about you will want you to shine, grow, and expand. This is much like how your planet must reset itself and keep adjusting to get back to its best self. As much as humans might not be enjoying the natural disasters happening on the planet at this time, all of this is necessary. The planet has been pushed down, bullied, and taken advantage of far too many years. It shrank itself to a version that is no longer sustainable. The only way to rectify that is to shift, change, and expand. It must reset and remove what is not working to allow for new growth and expansion. This is much like your man made forests. Humans tore down how nature had balance set up. They then planted new trees too close together. They didn't allow the light to come through, creating issues at the ground level and at the top. That must be rectified, and trees must fall to create that space, allow that life, and let Mother Nature fix and adjust what was not in harmony or compliance with how it was before. You can't tear down and then try to make something worse. You must learn from what was there and build better. You must see all the past forward and choose the best course of action. You must adjust and fix what is not working to allow for something that does. This is all an opportunity to create something new, better, and more aligned with where you are going, not where you've been. Though there are always lessons from where you've been, it's not where you want to stay. You must learn and grow. The seed must root itself and sprout. It must reach for the light and become what it was meant to be. Global and political changes are much the same way. Sometimes you need to tear down what is not working to create something more sustainable and in alignment with what is on the horizon or what you want to see next. You must remember where you started doesn't need to be where you end up. With personal journeys, you can start off in lack and have no say, but you can always choose differently. Find abundance, recognize that there is a different way to live, find your voice, set boundaries, heal, and grow. Society can do the same. It can start with something that might have been working at the time, but if it does not evolve or change, it has no choice but to become extinct. This is how evolution has always worked. This is how societies have always worked. There were many large civilizations in the past that were thriving at one time but are no more. That change did not happen overnight and were often the cause of a few people holding back the masses or not adapting to their environment or finding peace and acceptance of neighbors, other cultures, or civilizations. With acceptance of others comes inclusion. With considering the whole comes partnership and community. With working with nature, not against it, comes abundance. You can either learn from the past or you can be another lesson for future generations. There is always an opportunity to change, to adjust, to fix what is not working. You just need to remove the obstacles, recognize change as a necessity, and put the greater good of the whole over the control and selfish view of the few. This is how community works. This is how creating inclusion works. This is how loyalty and peace work. There must be a collapse of all that is not working before the new can be built. Sometimes you must fully demonstrate to some why this is not working for them to fully understand and get on board. Not everyone sides with logic or reason. Their hatred will blind them to facts until things get to a point of no longer being able to be ignored, and that ignorance of some have caused more destruction than they realized and they were capable of. Often it takes a line being crossed for some to remove their blinders and see what others were trying to show them. These drastic measures are just another means to an end. The Tower or Death card are not necessarily a bad thing, as there must be death before rebirth. There must be rock bottom sometimes to clear the boards for something new. That new needs to be at ground level to really dig in at the roots and form stable foundation. How you get to a clear board isn't always the preferred means, but sometimes when a domino is pushed, you have no choice but to step out of the way and watch the rest fall before you can start to clear and start again. Prepare for some tough lessons for some. Sometimes others are so far into the dark that they need to reach pitch black before they are willing to reach for the light. But when they are ready, they will start to let the light workers take the lead as they recognize that that light would have extinguished without them. Recognize that the act of holding that light, no matter how dim it gets, is of the utmost importance. It will often get really dark before some will come looking for it, but you must make sure it's still there. Hold space and keep the light shining. You never know when they will be ready. In the darkest days, you can gather together and collectively help shift things into the next stage. Though things might seem like they're getting worse, you must remember that sometimes you have to clear the board to build something new. Rock bottom might not be the preferred destination, but it is often the starting point for something much bigger and much better than what came before. Often, what you already have will distract you from the possibilities of what could be instead. Having all the possibilities without restrictions allows your imagination to reach new heights. It allows for new generations with fresher ideas to weigh in and to help improve what might have just been a habit but not crucial for moving forward. This is an opportunity, not a collapse. It's finally a chance to fix what was broken instead of taping up the cracks and working around what everyone was aware is no longer working. You have forgotten what is possible. You have forgotten how to dream. You have forgotten about having more as you got used to having to strive just for the bare minimum. Take this as an opportunity to change all of that. You can choose to look at this with dread and despair, or get excited about finally being able to build something that can work for the majority and benefit all instead of just a few. You're coming to see just how broken things were once they are exploited, and those doing it have nowhere to hide. Yes, the revolution might look different to everyone, but you just need to agree that it is time and view things as an opportunity. Then the real change can begin. You must choose to change if you want to see different results. There is power with the masses. Most have just forgotten that you must react differently if you're going to shift anything. Have protests or assembly changed anything in current times? It just shows how many are ready to fix things. But when the system is built where those hoarding the power and making the rules are untouchable due to military protection and government loopholes, no one can get to the source to adjust the situation. Checks and balances are great when they are used correctly. When they are used to prevent progress, that's when you know they are broken and who they are really serving. When a government doesn't speak for the masses but is brought by a few and serves selfish needs, everyone loses. You can't have someone represent a group who is only serving himself, not the people. This is how wars often start. Someone making the large choices while others are casualties and deal with the consequences. It's the equivalent of being poor and only having a small amount of food to survive from. If the food only goes to the one that is most well fed to keep giving them strength, then the others will perish as a result. The government is giving all of its power and resources to those who would abuse it and not share or look out for those with less. It's every man for himself, and the masses pay the price. You must resolve the situation from the source to fix it at its core. You can't hope and pray something will improve. You need to change, adjust, and fix what is broken. Action is the only course that will receive results. Talking about it to someone who doesn't listen and doesn't care won't resolve anything. Protesting only shows others how many are against it, but does not remove the power. There are other ways. You must back those who know a solution. Power in the wrong hands will only create destruction. This is true not only of the government, but in personal life situations like work and relationship dynamics. There needs to be understanding, reason, and everyone having a say and being heard. When the record keeps skipping and playing the same part, it only ruins the song. Come not from fear of the unknown, but power and strength for the changes of what is to come. You can't hold on to what is already unraveling. You must look towards replacement and resolving what caused the issues in the first place. Come from a place of excitement that the worst is behind you and that whatever comes next will never be as bad as what came before. This is how growth works. You make changes to improve instead of staying stagnant and broken. You must find the strength to continue in a forward motion instead of grasping onto the few breadcrumbs that you were given in the past and thinking that that's the best it'll ever be. You must think bigger, come out from underfoot. Allow yourself to be big and request more than what others might have allowed before. Once the masses see an opening, they can push open the door to freedom and build whatever was missing the first time. That freedom is going to seem scary for some who are not used to change, but exciting for others who have a vision and are able to understand that the world is yours and you can have so much more. Much like in farming, you must till the land and overturn the soil to make it ready for new growth. That's all this is, overturning what has become hard and rigid in order to let it breathe and prepare for a new season of growth. You put too much emphasis on needing someone to be in charge, in control, that you forget how self sufficient you are and what all you are able to do on a personal level when you don't have so many restrictions. Loosen the restrictions and breathe into the future. It's not working, so let it leave so that you can have something that does work. Learn from the mistakes, address the issues, and come together instead of creating separation. Don't take all of this on alone. We are not asking the individual to try to take on the government. We are asking each of you to find your gifts and where you fit into the equation. Some are educated and versed in the system, so that would be their place. Some are good at rallying others for change. Some are good with the details. Some are meant to help keep the peace, provide solace, raise families, keep businesses running, farming going, or cleaning up nature, etc., etc. When we talk about how you must be prepared and be aware of what is happening, we are often talking about the collective you and sometimes you on a personal level. You must not read too much into the words. It's the message that is important. You must also remember that on our end there is no separation. The individual you is the same as the collective you, as it's all part of the whole and one reflects the other. We are here to provide perspective, a new outlook, and comfort for trying times. In the human construct, you often come from a place of fear when it comes to change. What is happening on the planet at this time is a lot of change on multiple fronts. You must not let it bring you into fear or a dark vibration. We discuss this with you to give you a broader perspective so that you can start to understand the bigger picture of what is to come instead of being weighed down by what is happening now or your negative projections of what could be a possibility for the future. The future can be better than what came before. You just need to shift how you look at or address things. Often it's the darkest before the light, as you must clear what is holding you back before you can move forward. Don't feel so overwhelmed by it all. Focus on what you're able to do on an individual level. Focus on the future that you want to see. Start taking the steps. It's just a journey, not a destination. It's not where you end up. It's just only the beginning, leading the way to clear what is not needed to make room for what is to come. Your view or perspective creates your vibration. Your vibration attracts what you receive. You receive what you are building. So choose better and be aware of where your thoughts go and create what you desire, not more of the same or what you don't want. It becomes difficult to hold that higher vibration when you view everything around you with a negative light, or when you only focus on what is coming up to be cleared instead of the space created for something new. Awareness is a key component in creation. You can't create consciously if you're just walking through your defaults and doing everything out of habit. You must bring in your awareness and recognize and start to ask questions. This is the only way to pause what is and shift where it will go next. Think about it like driving your car. You have some set default destinations that you just drive to out of habit, like work, grocery store, family, or friend's house. These are places that you don't need a GPS for. But say you get into the car to go someplace else and you don't set your GPS, but instead start talking to your passenger. If you are too caught up in the conversation, meaning no longer aware of the road, you might start to take that left turn associated with your default route instead of the right turn needed for your new destination. How far will you be in the wrong direction until you notice what you did and correct yourself? How much time will have gotten lost? What will you have missed at your new location as a result? The point is that you need to be aware so that you don't end up back in the default when you aren't looking or paying attention. You need to be aware of how you got there so you don't take the same path again. You need to see the patterns so that you can use them to your advantage instead of letting them control you. Stop and tune into what you're doing. It's the only way you can reset the course. You're the one to say, recalculating, as you fix what is not working. Find a better path, avoid hazards, and choose a new destination. You need to be actively aware when you want something different. Be prepared to pull over, check the map, recognize what is happening around you. You will only make it to a new location if you stay present in the current one and come into awareness of what you are doing. Thank you, and I will see you next week.